Yep, her hands are really in my mouth. If you guys have neck tension, jaw clenching, TMJ, puffiness on the face, listen up because this is called the buccal facial therapy, where they not just work on your skin, but also inside your mouth to reach the deeper muscles. And if you're like me and you find you have tension all up in your neck, your shoulders, this is the video for you. On top of the buccal facial, I also got one of the most comprehensive AI scalp analysis to examine your unique scalp condition. And so we're doing that today in something called the Cloud9 experience. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to share some at-home tips based on everything we learned. So if you enjoy content like this, please subscribe and like the video. It really supports our small team to make more beauty and wellness content like this. So let's dive in. I'm at Head in the Clouds in Brooklyn, and you walk into a completely stunning, cozy Zen oasis. And here they specialize in two things: facial massage therapy and the scalp analysis. Okay, so let's dive straight into the buccal facial. Buccal literally means anything related to located in or facing the cheek. So it's really addressing everything from the cheek down. And it might sound familiar because 1 or 2 years ago, there was this whole obsession of celebrities getting that buccal fat removal where they just looked hollowed out and honestly a little gaunt and skeletal. But this is completely different. Like, that is a surgery. This is just massaging that area. And on our face, we actually have around 43 muscles, which lets us make expressions to smile, to frown, raise our eyebrows, and show, all the different types of emotions. And something that happens is as we age, our muscles, like on the face and all over the body, starts to weaken, shorten, or lose that tone, which can lead to skin sagging and less contour or structural support on the face. We're starting with a cleanse. And she's almost warming up my facial muscles. And now we're ready for business. Inside the mouth we go. She essentially anchors both her thumbs inside that inner part of my cheeks and then makes a combination of circular movements as well as strokes and gentle pulls from the inside out. I could feel every contour and every knot on my cheeks as she does this. And I know this looks awkward as heck. And some of you on our Instagram, because I posted this on IG, was like, I hope they bought you dinner first. And I'm just like, la. But truly, I think it looks way more awkward than it feels at the beginning. It's kind of strange because, it's not normal, but you kind of get used to it. It's not painful at all. It's just different. Unlike just a normal facial where they just work on the surface of your skin, this targets the muscles from the inside out. And something that I was looking for was to release the tension and strain from my jaw, my neck, and my TMJ. And this section, this back section, was probably the most tight. I could feel it a little sore because I grind at night and I also clench. So this is something that's directly related to stress, and that can really mess with not just your teeth, but your facial structure. I'm working on that, so this is really helping. When I went to Korea, if you guys remember, I saw Dr. Young, the orthodontist and the dentist, and she took an x-ray of my whole face and my jaw and saw that my TMJ and jaw alignment was a little bit off based on my habits of chewing on one side.
There's muscle here, there's muscle here, also there's muscle here, and also there's muscle here. That means that in the middle, there's a TMJ here. So if you get stressed, you could have headaches or very bad damage on your TMJ. So you have to be very, very careful. It's kind of weaker than it's supposed to be. Massage here and make sure there's no stress here.
So she just told me you really have to take care of that TMJ because as we age, the bones and the jaw will shift, and we want to have good habits so that it stays strong and toned. And massages like this can really help to relax that area so that it's nice and balanced. She also does this interesting thing of lightly stretching my mouth and lip area. This I have never felt before. Then she takes off the gloves, and the Best way I can describe is like she does this smooshing action to press my lip area to look a little bit like Donald Duck, and then kind of just like press all the muscles upwards. It felt really nice actually, because at this point my whole face felt loose and soft, and like I didn't know it could feel like that. But in general, any sort of facial massage, whether you do it at home or get it done, will increase blood circulation, help to move the lymphs, which brings nutrients and oxygen up into this top region of our face. One reason why a facial always makes you feel glowy is because all that blood is being moved. Just by doing that, you'll look like 5 times better. And of course, it moves and drains down the fluids, down the lymphs, to the top of the armpit where the lymphs drain down. And then she also spent a few minutes bringing that down to the chest and the clavicle, to the armpits where there's a lot of lymph nodes where it drains, and then also down the arm all the way to the tips of my fingers. So all of this is actually connected, you know? Because actually our whole face is connected. The shoulders to the neck, to the jaw, to the cheeks, to the forehead. So it doesn't just feel good, it's literally moving that stagnation all throughout our body. Because if you think about it, you don't really move a lot of the head during the day, you know? So much like we have to work the rest of the body, we have to do that manually sometimes with the top of our head. And then she gave my face another cleanse because, girl, who knows if I have saliva smushed all over my face. And then we finished with some hydration and nourishment and gentle massages all the way. It's not the end. Now that our facial muscles are happy, we're going up, it's up. No, we're going to the scalp. Let me first bring you back to the beginning. I actually got the scalp consultation. And the results of this were unlike any scalp test that I've ever done. I've done many. I went to Korea to do one. I did Dr. Scalp here. I've done head massages. None of them gave me as a specific of results as this. They'll take pictures of the top of your head, the sides, and also the back with a special camera which is connected to a system that analyzes through AI different elements of your head. And it gives you a score and ranking of all these different points, like where you lie on the spectrum of hair loss, follicle density, hair thickness, volume, gray hair, scalp sensitivity, dandruff, sebum levels, and even odor and moisture levels on your scalp. And they do this for all 4 sections of the head because each section actually has a different microbiome. But something that I thought was super interesting was actually the scalp heat section. The hotter your scalp is, specifically every 1 degree that your scalp increases in heat, the sebum secretion increases by 10%. So a hotter scalp can actually lead to more sweaty, itchy, flaky, and dandruff-prone scalp because of the amount of moisture that's trapped there, which leads to more bacteria and buildup. So I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. So if you feel like your hair is always overly greasy, even with frequent washes, it might actually be a heat issue, and you want to find shampoos that are cooling and soothing that will help to balance that. But anyway, apart from that, I was super relieved to know that I was actually doing pretty well, which just means all the hair videos that I've been sharing with you guys, those tips and habits have genuinely been working, because now I'm not overly oily anymore. I'm actually more combination and dry. But she was saying it's been a really long, harsh winter, and a lot of people are actually going in because of dryness symptoms like itchiness from dryness and flakiness from dryness. So anyways, after the test was done, you get to pick your own aromatic concoction to be used in the hair and scalp treatment. And there was this whole bar full of different soothing and calming ingredients, and you can pick around 3 to 4 depending on the scents you like. They have all types of ingredients, including calendula, chamomile, lavender, rosemary, lemongrass, dragon fruit. There's literally everything. And the therapist will literally steam these herbs into your scalp to soften. But I picked calendula, chamomile, rosemary, and goji berries, and then also a little bit of dragon fruit just for the color. So cute! And Then you pick an aromatherapy essential oil, which they'll also use in your session for soothing, calming vibes. I love an earthy, woody smell, so we went with this one. And then they also have this beautiful natural shampoo and conditioner. So this is what it looks like all on the plate. Okay, so back to the room. We start with a really thorough dry scalp massage, and this gets all that blood circulation going. And there are muscles under our scalp here that directly link to our face. So there's one here called the temporalis, and I remember Alicia, the esthetician from Peach and Lily, she was saying you really want to massage this area because it links to this eye region and can give you lifting naturally. But you know, if you don't, it will sag and kind of atrophy as we age. So we really want to focus on this muscle, but also all around the head. Which is why scalp massages are so important, guys. Like, I don't know how much I've talked about it, from my Japan head spas to the Korean head spas to the ones here. Everyone swears by a head massage. And stay to the end of the video because I'm going to show you how you can do this at home. Then we do a very soothing, thorough shampoo. And of course, they do a double cleanse as well. Oh my God, I understand why this place is called Head in the Clouds. I literally feel like I'm levitating. Then for the conditioner, they do this technique where they take the hair section by section to condition it. And we also saw this in my recent Japanese hair salon visit where I share what the Japanese do for healthy scalp and hair. And this honestly makes a huge difference on how soft your hair feels after the shower. One of you even went back to our video and commented that, oh my gosh, this really works. So listen to me, guys, try this tip. Then she put on a weighted mask and then put this huge steaming contraption around my head, which just gently steams and opens up the pores on the scalp, which makes sure that all the products are deeply penetrated inside the hair and also our follicles. So after almost falling asleep in my little steaming bubble, we washed it off with the most gentle head spa shower, finished off with a few more face massages, and we're done. Let me show you just how soft, how shiny the hair is, even with just a rough blow dry. And this is the final look. Everything from my chest up was soft, it was glowing, it was thriving. So that just goes to show if you take time and do the right techniques, you can definitely have that healthy hair. Okay, so that was the experience, and I know a lot of you aren't in New York, you're not able to experience this, but it's okay. The daily care that we do for ourselves is way more important than, you know, a once-off treatment. Although that's nice, it's what we can do for ourselves. So my first tip is daily massage. This doesn't have to be complicated, but you do want to work on your face and scalp at least for 5 minutes a day if you can. If it's not every day, every other day. Starting with the scalp, I actually just do my massage in the shower when I wash my hair. So every time I wash my hair, I'll give myself a massage as I'm shampooing it. You can use a scalp massager. So you just put that on your scalp and don't brush through it. You're just keeping it in the spot and just moving the scalp. The main point is to move the scalp. So if you don't want to do that in the shower, just use your hands and go from section to section. And once again, you're not moving your fingers, you're just moving the skin, and that's what's going to create the most blood circulation and get all the nutrients and blood into the follicles so that your hair and scalp are healthy. Because, you know, if you think about it, you don't really move your scalp and head muscles, right? It needs manual movement. So this is really important for hair growth, hair loss, hair thinning, and just healthy hair and scalp in general. So do that every day, 1 to 5 minutes, whatever you have, and it makes the most difference. And then facial massage. So you can either do this as you're applying your skincare, just like use your thumb and your index finger and just like move it through the jaw, move it through the cheeks. If you want to use a gua sha, use the gua sha, and it just feels really nice. I have a full video on how to use a Borgian and gua sha here, so I'll link it below as well so you can follow that. Second tip is in your shampoo step, double cleanse, but use a really gentle shampoo. shampoo. If you're like me, you're oily. If you do find you have like, you're hot all the time and sweating, there's an overproduction of oil. This is what those cooling shampoos are for. And we have one on the shop. It's from 107. It's literally cooling and soothing your scalp. But you want to find gentle shampoos that aren't stripping all the oils away. We still want some of that gentle layer on the surface of our scalp, which protects it. And so my favorite ones we've sourced and put on our shop. They're literally the most soothing, calming ingredients like green tea, centella, and hair nourishing ingredients that help with the microbiome. And we also recently added our Mireille Labo, which is the most gentle. It's got matcha or green tea as the base of the shampoo. So if you have sensitive scalp, that one will also work a dream. If you have any scalp issues, my biggest tip for shampooing would be wash your hair more frequently until your scalp is balanced again. That was one of the biggest things that changed the health of my scalp. I listened to the wrong tips for most of my life, which was, oh, washing every day is not that great for you. But if you have scalp conditions like dandruff and itchy flakiness and smelly scalp, you just need to wash it more. And then when it's balanced again, then you can do every other day. The next tip is, as we've talked about in my previous videos, in your conditioning step, take section by section and then apply your conditioner and stroke it downward. Take sections like this and literally like massage it like an octopus, rather than the whole thing together. Because what happens if you do all of it is sometimes you miss a lot of those inner areas, which is what leads to that, dry, frizzy kind of look. And use a hair mask. So my favorite one, it's like a heavenly garden. It smells so good. And then my last and most important tip is to de-stress, completely de-stress, because this is going to be the most important point if you have hair thinning or hair issues that are related to stress, which a lot of it is. So we want to make sure that our body is not in fight or flight, because when it's in fight or flight, it can't distribute nutrients, the blood circulation is low. So take this advice from someone who had hair loss issues and was also very stressed and anxious. So yes, that was my experience and my tip. Please watch our previous hair videos because there's so much that we've already covered. Give it a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Leave your questions below and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.